Welcome to the Hewlett-Packard Enterprise StoreOnce VSA High Availability Deployment video. This video is split into 3 sections to show you how to obtain, deploy and configure a StoreOnce VSA within a Vmware High Availability environment. Please note the My License Portal URL shown. To skip a particular section, please use the timings provided. For more details on implementing StoreOnce, please review the document links shown. Obtaining the StoreOnce VSA. Go to the HPE My License portal. To log into the website, you will require a free HPE Passport account. After logging into the portal, select the Software Evaluations tab from the menu. From the All Categories drop-down menu, select StoreOnce G4 VSA. Currently we have 2 products displayed. The first is a 1TB freeware license that, when applied to your StoreOnce VSA, allows you to permanently evaluate the product with a capped maximum storage capacity of 1TB. The second is the StoreOnce VSA software images that come with an inbuilt 90-day evaluation period before a freeware or purchase license is required. For more information on licenses, please refer to our StoreOnce documentation. Continue to select this option and download the StoreOnce VSA images. For this deployment, we only require the vCenter StoreOnce VSA image. With the download complete, we can see that the zip file contains an OVA image and a checksum file. Deploying the StoreOnce VSA into a VMware HA environment. We have a VMware environment which contains 2 VMware clusters called Cluster and StoreOnce HA. StoreOnce HA is a VMware High Availability cluster containing 2 hosts, HA VSA Host 1 and HA VSA Host 2. The cluster containing 4 hosts has a VApp called StoreOnce HA Management, which contains an unconfigured StoreOnce High Availability Manager. Please note that we utilize the VMware High Availability option to produce highly available StoreOnce VSAs, and the StoreOnce HA Manager is only required for highly available StoreOnce VSAs using fiber channel connectivity for data transfer. Now let us deploy a StoreOnce VSA into the StoreOnce HA cluster. The new virtual machine will be named StoreOnce VSA. Details from the OVA template show us that we are about to deploy a StoreOnce VSA with version 4.2.1. For StoreOnce VSA High Availability, we require a shared storage volume that can be seen by both hosts within the StoreOnce HA cluster. For this deployment, we have chosen to use thin provisioning. It is important to select an appropriate network group that allows communication between the StoreOnce VSA and the High Availability Manager. The StoreOnce VSA IP address can be assigned by DHCP, but it is recommended to assign a static IP. We are now ready to deploy our StoreOnce VSA. Note, the StoreOnce VSA has been configured with 1 hard disk for the operating system, and before it can be used for backup purposes, additional hard disks are required for storage. Now VMware has deployed the StoreOnce VSA, we will add the additional disks for storage. Edit the StoreOnce VSA settings. Note that the StoreOnce VSA can be configured with storage ranging from 4TB to 500TB and be evaluated for 90 days until a purchase license is required. However, using the freeware license, a maximum storage of 1TB can be configured. We are going to configure 4TB of storage using a thin provision disk. Note that depending on the storage size configured, a minimum number of IOPS is required to meet the StoreOnce performance targets mentioned within the StoreOnce documentation. Once the StoreOnce VSA has been reconfigured with additional storage, power on and review the boot up until the login prompt appears. This allows time for essential services to start up, which allows us to connect the StoreOnce VSA to complete the deployment process. Connect to the StoreOnce VSA using the IP address or allocated FQDN. To complete the deployment, we will step through the StoreOnce VSA first time setup process. Choose an appropriate password for both the administrator and console passwords. It is recommended to fill out the system information, however, we are going to alter just the system name to SOVSA. The system date and time can be synchronized with a time server or set manually. We have opted to use a time server. Select a deployment mode allows the user to either deploy a StoreOnce VSA by default or deploy a high availability manager. In our environment, we have already pre-deployed the high availability manager and want to continue to deploy a StoreOnce VSA. The storage step allows us to configure the 4 terabytes of storage that we attached earlier. For our purposes, we do not want to enable remote support. With the first time setup complete, the StoreOnce VSA has now been successfully deployed. To check the system health, log into the StoreOnce VSA management GUI using the admin credentials we configured earlier. As we can see from the dashboard, the health status is all green. However, it is advised to wait until the data services have started before continuing. Configuring the StoreOnce High Availability Manager. Please note that StoreOnce HA Manager is only required for highly available StoreOnce VSAs using fiber channel connectivity for data transfer. Connect to the HA Manager interface using the IP address or allocated FQDN, then log in using administrator credentials predefined during the deployment. The High Availability Manager, like the StoreOnce VSA, has a system dashboard providing key information about the health status, system information, and high availability configuration. At this time, the HA Manager is unconfigured, therefore not displaying any clusters, host, or StoreOnce VSA information. To configure the HA Manager, we first need to go to the High Availability Configuration section and connect to our vCenter server. We will use the FQDN and admin credentials. Please note that it is possible to create a unique user with the appropriate privileges required by the High Availability Manager to manage the StoreOnce VSAs within VMware. This information can be found within the StoreOnce documentation. As shown, the HA Manager has successfully connected to the vCenter, which is running version 6.7. Please note that other versions of VMware are supported and can be viewed in our support matrix documentation. Next, we need to add the high availability cluster that hosts our newly deployed StoreOnce VSA. Now the StoreOnce HA cluster has been successfully added to the HA Manager, we can expand the HA cluster to view the host information. Please note the hosts have a status of unknown, while the HA Manager is awaiting further information from vCenter. Both host statuses have been updated, clearly identifying host 1 as the active host that is running the StoreOnce VSA, and host 2 as a spare host which is only used in a failover scenario. At this moment, the StoreOnce VSA can be seen by the HA Manager, but not managed. To allow failover management, the StoreOnce VSA must be registered within the HA Manager. Register the StoreOnce VSA using the administrator credentials. The High Availability Manage toggle is now active, and we have successfully configured a highly available StoreOnce VSA. Thank you for your time.